I want you to think about the thing you've been carrying, the nonprofit, the foundation, the cause that keeps showing up in your chest when you are laying in bed at night or just sitting in the meeting you don't really care about. Or maybe you're watching somebody else do the thing you know you were supposed to do. And you've told yourself you're not ready, that you don't know enough, that you need more time, you need more money, you need more something. My guest today has a different theory about why you are still waiting. And I think it's going to make you just a little uncomfortable in all the best ways. I'm Yvonne Hyman, and this is She is a Leader, the show for women who are done building someone else's dream and are ready to build their own on their own terms. Today's guest spent 25 years in business and marketing before she ever stepped into the nonprofit world. When she got there, she couldn't unsee what was broken. Brilliant woman with massive missions, no plan, no infrastructure, running on passion, maybe a little bit of coffee, and also just running out of steam. Lisa Avila is a nonprofit strategist, founder of Poppy Grove LLC, and host of the Rich Nonprofit podcast. Her 4-piece of philanthropic profit framework has helped her clients raise over $1 million in funding. She works with women who are ready to stop waiting to feel ready and start building the thing they've been carrying. Here's what I need you to know before we start. The reason you are not ready isn't what you think it is. It's not a money problem. It's not a knowledge problem. It's definitely not a passion problem either. It's a strategy problem. And by the end of this conversation, you are going to know exactly what to do about it. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Evie. I'm glad to be here.
And I love your take on, when I saw your submission come through for the podcast, I love your take on nonprofit. The public perception always, at least in my circles, is nonprofit means I'm working 24/7, I'm giving everything for everybody else, and I don't even know how to pay my own bills.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So how do we change that? Number one, how do we change this perception? How do we even get started on changing that perception to begin with, right? Because it's a walking, talking, limiting belief.
It absolutely is. And it starts with us. It starts with us women saying, I'm not doing that anymore, because most of us have gone through our lives being the martyr, checking the boxes, taking care of everyone else. And then we have these big passions. We move it into a nonprofit or foundation, and we're still doing the same thing. And then wondering why we're burned out, and eventually say, I can't do this anymore. So it starts with us.
We might be I think we are on the same page, but we are also on different pages, but we are on the same page. Because if I remember right, you also are one to say, stop with the whole passion thing. We need to, I know why I worded that. And again, ladies, if you are listening, if you're driving and listening, stay safe, keep driving and listening. However, you might also want to check the YouTube video, because Lisa's face right now was just as good as some of mine. I know why. I think I know why. Let's talk about this idea of passion and why this can be a good thing and a bad thing.
I love passion. I am a double Scorpio. I am so passionate about...
Holy girl, I'm a Cancer Scorpio. Yeah, I have nothing on you.
So there you go. So you understand. Mm-hmm. We love so fiercely and deeply our people, our things, our hobbies, until we don't. And that is wonderful. It's so great to have that love and your heart on your sleeve. But if you don't have a strategy behind it, you don't know what you're doing, and it's all going to fall apart. And it's just so important for me to carry both that passion, but then put something behind it, because your nonprofit without the business and the strategy, you're just, like I said earlier, the martyr.
I was hoping you would say something similar to that, because I was taught by a past mentor to never base a business in your passion. And I'm like, have we met? I am not going to survive the day if my passion is not included. And I'm using it as a fuel. We need to build the system around it. We need to build the frameworks and the processes around it so that I can stay in that energy without completely emptying myself out and then be like, oh yeah, just another hobby that I spend completely immersing myself in for 5 days and then throw it out. So yeah, it's this balancing act, right? Use the passion to fuel yourself. Use the passion to come up with the new ideas and survive the bad days, and also build the framework around it.
Yep. And speak up. Right? I mean, that's also having that passion helps you as a woman, which I've seen women leaders, executives, it helps you speak up when you're in a boardroom or when you're in an all male setting and you really believe in this cause. And so it helps you kind of, okay, I can do this. And then jump in with that passion.
And ladies who are starting to speak up, I also invite you, start slow. It's like my personal experience is like at some point I'm reaching the passion of my head is gonna blow off, which might just go the other way as planned. And also I started to make it a practice. I started to make it a practice of setting boundaries and just saying, no, it is a full fucking sentence, or asking for what I want, no matter if it's in the boardroom or the bedroom. And I just took that in a different corner. But it's like, nobody can read our mind, right? It's this idea of don't assume. Don't assume Javi is going to take out the trash. Just fucking tell him. What do you need? What do you want? And do it before you are in a state of full-on passion, blow up, or resentment. You have lived in both worlds, right? You are coming out of a full-on regular, quote, life, 25 years in business before you ever walked into that nonprofit world. What pushed you through that door? What changed?
I was in the wine industry. I live in Paso Robles, California, so wine country. And I had a great time being in wine, going to events, selling wine. It's a really great life until you realize I'm not changing lives. I don't know that I'm helping people actually, but it's a lot of fun. And I saw vineyard workers, families, when my kids started school, they were underrepresented, and I didn't like that at all. And so I made it my mission to help them. And I started speaking up at school board, and I went back to school and got my master's so that I could support them. And then I quit the wine industry and I went into the nonprofit world and started helping and doing what I could. And then I saw so many women who were following their passion and it wasn't working for them in this nonprofit sector.
You are also talking about coming from a line of women who climbed so the next generation had more choices. How does that show up in your everyday? What kind of impact does it have in your work with the nonprofit world?
My great-grandmother came here from Spain and was married off at 14. And I carry that story with me every single day to think of the choices that she did not have. And she was an immigrant. And it's just so important to me as I think back of my grandmother who left high school, my mother who got pregnant at 19, and, just all these things that happened. And then here I am, a college graduate, my own business, 3 kids. I'm very privileged, but I know what it took to get there. And so I use this privilege to help. I try to. I realize it. And so I think about that every single day of what impact can I have. And with my 3 boys, they're going to be fine out there in the world, right? So how can I help them to be kind humans and help others? Because we need that right now. We need that so desperately.
Oh, ain't that the truth? And interestingly, you are the second generation. So what I'm referring to is what we often see in generational is you have the fighting generation, that comes out of that survival mode. That was grandma, right? That started to build something. Then you have mom that got to a certain level. And then you have the first, quote, integrated generation. Don't know a better word right now, where we often see the, oh yeah, this is a given. I'm fine. I'm awesome. It's all cool. I got at least halfway taken care of, however you grew up. And you, as a second generation down from grandma, still have that passion and that view of remembering where we came from. I'm like, let's be honest, one of the biggest issues right now here in the States for us, of having forgotten where we come from and how we got here. And I always love to see when people don't forget it, when people don't try to erase history and be like, oh yeah, perfect, we belong here. Which also brings me to your 4 P's of philanthropic profit, because you look at nonprofits and philanthropic work from 4 pillars, pretty much. Purpose, we get that. Sure, that's why it's nonprofit. We have some kind of a purpose, right? And you also have people, you have the promise and the platform. So do me a favor, walk me a little bit deeper through your 4 P's of your framework.
Sure. So anytime I start working with a client, and it's not that I choose to only work with women, but I really prefer working with women, and we just jive, right? And they're usually moms. And so sometimes they forget who they are and what they want. Maybe they have that passion, but they've forgotten themselves. So I take them on a road back to themselves as they build this business, nonprofit, foundation, whatever it may be. So I start with their purpose of, why are you here? And like I told you earlier, I'm a double Scorpio, and I believe in all of the woo-woo along with the strategy. So I'll say, why do you think your soul's here for this lifetime? And some of them will, oh, and then some of them will go, what are you even talking about? So we really distill it down to.
I feel you on that one. I'm like the in between. I'm all systems. However, my tarot cards are right there too.
Yeah, I'm going to pull a card if I need to, but then I'm also going to go jump over to Monday and put my tasks in, right? So,
yeah.
Yes, it's an and both. So once we figure that out, then we're looking at the people who they want to serve. Because at the end of the day, any business or nonprofit is not about you. It's about who you're helping and what community you are building. And I love human-centered design, where you look at your end user and you are constantly thinking about what your end user wants, not what your board wants, not what looks good on a slide deck, but what they need. So that's super important. And then we go into the promise. Well, what are you going to do for them? Are you going to be this, person on the stage just telling them what they should do? Or are you going to make this commitment to serve them how they need to be served? And I think that's where I know the impact comes in, but it's also remembering our stories. It's remembering, right, of who came before us. And that helps with your promise, because that's something you can wake up and think of every day when it's hard, when you don't have the funding, when you are just struggling. Yeah. And then, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The last one is the platform. And the reason I use platform is because I believe in systems and strategy so deeply to go along with this on your journey. So you've got to have the frameworks, social media, if you so choose, your email platform, whatever it is, your CRM, your funding, all of that. You've got to have that, because that's going to hold you for the rest of it.
And I want to come back around to, because you say wealth and impact aren't in competition, which is completely opposite to everything how nonprofit currently is perceived. And I'm assuming here, because you are the subject matter expert, I'm not, a lot of women in nonprofit, I'm assuming, carry a real discomfort around money. Now, let's be honest, that's probably not just the nonprofit space, because I had to do a lot of work when it comes to money, right? So where do you believe this comes from, and how do you work through this and getting women into a fresh point of view, into a fresh worldview of wealth and impact are not in competition?
Sometimes it can take a lot of work because there is that deeply held belief that I am helping people, so I can't make money off of doing that. I've seen this in so many different industries. You could be a yoga teacher. Well, I can't charge too much. Why? You're helping people. You're serving your community. You deserve to be well compensated and to have what you need as well. You're not, and I know that these people, these creating impact, the healers, they are not going to go buy a Maserati, or maybe they will, whatever. I'm not here to judge that, but they still need to be able to pay their bills, put their kids through college, do all the things that they need to do, maybe get a massage once in a while or go to therapy and talk about, whatever it is. But so many women just think, oh, no. If I'm helping people, I can't make a lot of money doing it. But you know what happens when women make a lot of money? They help other women make a lot of money. Boom.
And suddenly you have that ripple effect.
Absolutely. And that is a great way to leave legacy and to pay it forward. I want to see more women's names on buildings. Why not?
I think for me, logically, I know that, right? Logically, I know all of that. Emotionally, I'm still working on my money things. I'm better, still some work to be done. One of the things is working through this with the point of view that, yes, chances are the more money I make, the more I'm going to give back. My team is going to get paid more rather than just bare minimum. I am sharing scholarships and sponsorships and all kinds of things, right? I'm giving back to my community because now I can. And that's kind of like what I put as a quote excuse to cancel out the I'm not supposed to making money because I'm here supposed to help people. So for anybody that needs just a little bit of carryover till the belief fully sets in, that's the thing that worked for me. Now, what I'm also curious, what does a rich nonprofit looks like?
Well, it's exactly what you were just saying. You are rich in your team members who love what they do also, and they want to stick around and they want to help because they are well compensated. Not just money, health benefits, vacation, that team building. You have the same core values. That to me is rich. When you are working with a team that you love and you feel safe and you feel seen, that's amazing. That is not your typical 9 to 5. And that's not the nonprofit that I worked for previously. So rich is not just money. It's time. When I see an executive director client, when she will take a vacation finally after 4 years and not look at her phone every 5 minutes and comes back and says, I had the best time with my husband. That is rich.
What a concept, being able to take a vacation without being attached to your phone.
Yes.
And be in the moment and enjoy.
And be in the moment. I see that as my kids go off to college of, I could have been a little more present. So now, right? I mean, whatever. Hindsight's 2020. But that to me is rich when you are present with the people that you want to spend time with.
Now, you help clients raise millions of dollars. What separates the ones that get there, that are able to do that are able to build a rich nonprofit in money and time, and the ones who stay stuck?
What came up for me first is fortitude. And I am thinking of one client who is currently going global, and she is just so ready to do this because she has done the work. As I said at the very beginning, right? It starts with you. It starts with us. So you are doing the work of all the things, believing in your passion, your purpose, why you are here, and then taking those steps, getting in front of the right people. It's not just about sending out an email and hoping people will hit your donation button on your website. It is about having those hard conversations, putting yourself in front of people that don't really know who you are, but they believe in you once they hear your passion and your strategy. And that's why we do a lot of strategy work together, so that she can go into these meetings and say, I need $1 million. Boom. Yeah. Now I'm going global. Boom. And then every little step forward, right, builds that momentum.
Not me having a moment over here where I'm like, when you said that, I literally was in that moment. I was like, ooh, okay. I just found a spot where I need to put some work in, where I'm like stepping into a room like, hey, I need $1 million. Okay. I just found a piece of work for me. Thank you for that one.
You're welcome.
Now, you are doing a lot of this work with your client on the coaching side and helping them understand, get better, raise funds, have an impact, all of these things. And you are also running the Rich Nonprofit podcast. So you've put quite a few things on your plate while hosting and building at the same time and doing other things. How do you keep yourself from running yourself into the ground? How do you take care of you and not just teach everybody else to take care of themselves?
No, like you said earlier, that boundary of no is a huge one. And it took me so long to learn, because I would go back to our intuition and the woo-woo or whatever you want to call it. If I feel a heck yes, I'm going to say yes. But if I have any inkling anywhere in any, my throat, my gut, then it's a no.
I'm assuming you have a similar process too of having your list of what's your focus right now, right? Where are we going? What is important in this season? And if it doesn't align, it doesn't align. Where it's like, for me right now, we're starting a secondary company. I'm in Austin. There is so many things I can do here. I have about 10 different things I can do at any given day. And I have a lot of friends that are quite social butterflies. I am the grandma that's in bed by 10:30. So also, let's not even start on perimenopause and my energy level being at 50%. So, right. And not even 5 years ago, I would have had full on freaking FOMO of, oh my God, this friend is doing this and he is doing that and he is doing that. And might have missed a business possibility here. And nowadays, I know exactly where we are going. I know exactly where my first company is going. I know exactly where my secondary company is going. I know what I personally need by collecting data over the last few years on how my body is acting. And I have a focus. So if somebody says, oh, you are not going to this networking event, I'm like, nope, doesn't align. It's not the people I need for my business right now. It's not an event that is recharging me personally. I always, hold on, how did that go? Thank God we are not a PG-13 podcast. What was that? 3 F's? Fun, fuck, or feed me. If it doesn't meet my 3 F's, we're good.
Okay, I love that. Thank you. New framework.
The 3 F's next to the 4 P's. We all have our frameworks, right? But it's like it comes down to doing the work that you are doing with your clients to get down to your values. Why are you doing this? What's fueling you? What's draining you? What do you need right now in this specific season, personally, as well as in your nonprofit or business or whatever it is? And when you are really clear on that, now suddenly no becomes so much easier.
Yes, that is so true. And I love looking at it as seasons, because it does change depending on what's going on in your life. You could have kids. You could be taking care of your aging parents. Okay, perimenopause right here. I never know what's going to hit and when. Doing my best.
especially when the meltdown is happening and suddenly I'm just in tears for no obvious reason. I'm like, seriously? Really?
Right.
We are doing this now?
Yeah, but go get on social media and record your stuff and go what?
Looking at our audience of women, probably also some in that same emotional fucked up situation. And I do believe my audience is also really impact driven, right? I don't know, it's just something in our nature. And maybe they want to start a nonprofit, maybe they just want to have an impactful business. I always like my audience walking away with one action step, right? We can be professional learners and never go anywhere. So I always like to have a specific action step. So looking out there to our women that might think wealth and impact do not connect, that having this inner urge of where I'm at right now is completely fucked up. I do want to have an impact and also pay my bills. And they are ready to finally make this step and change something. What is that step? Where do we start? How do I get out of the rat race of this bullshit hustle culture and build something that is impactful and doesn't kill me?
Do not blow everything up right away. I know that by just take a moment and breathe, right? I forget to do that a lot. So I'm constantly reminding myself of that. And I tell my clients that also. But if you can just stop, take a moment, look around your community, see what the need is, and take the next right step. You don't have to go start a nonprofit tomorrow, but what if you volunteered one day a month? What if you donated to a local nonprofit and then started working with them and seeing what the need is? It's just a little tiny thing. It doesn't have to be huge, because I know when you start advocating, when you start helping, you want to do it more. And suddenly you find the time and the space in your life, because other things that don't matter as much drop away.
Girl, and I invite you ladies, when I get into the doing, which happens way too often, and I'm like, oh my God, my brain is not working and I need to get this done. And the more I find myself fighting, the more I have developed the habit of stepping away and breathing. So really looking at this data point of the more frustrated you get, the more you need to step away. And guess what? Those 5 minutes of stepping away and breathing is not going to make or break anything. So breathe, and deeply, not just into your chest, all the way down into your belly.
Look at that.
And use some voice with it too. There's even some researches with, if you actually auditory exhale, it stimulates your brain in a certain way and really helps you slow down. I need to dig into those researches. And oh my God, as always, Lisa, we never know where the conversation is taking us. And I love that it ends in breathing. So everybody just with us, take one deep breath. Lisa, this conversation was everything. You came with the receipts, you came with the frameworks, you came with the action steps. So thank you for being here. And for everybody listening, if you are carrying a vision for a nonprofit, a foundation, a cause that won't let you go, this episode was for you. If you know a woman that is carrying that vision too, go share this episode. Go show her that it is possible and you don't have to lose yourself in your impact. And Lisa showed you how. She gave you the on-ramp. It exists. It is possible. I'm Evie, and this is She is a Leader. Share the episode with a woman in your life who's been almost ready for way too long, because she needs to hear it just like I needed to. I'll see you next week, and thanks, Lisa, for joining us.
Thank you.